Welcome, everyone, and we are the Uneducated Gamers podcast presented by GalaxyGameTV.com. And today's episode, we will discuss the recent news around Fallout New Vegas and other Bethesda titles with release dates, ? And we will finish up Cyberpunk in a part 2 discussion and some other fun bug conversation and our most uneducated thoughts. Joe,
we got a lot of those.
Welcome in. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing as well as one can be. Just sipping on a beer now. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You sound stressed out.
No, you know what? Life is crazy and in the fast lane at work. But that's why we do this podcast, so that way we can get out of that lane and have some fun for a few hours.
Amen to that. And I'm not a religious person.
Amen.
Okay. All right. So where do you want to start?
And this was something that kind of just broke today, and that's What Culture Gaming YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Saw this video pop up and talking about the title of what piqued my interest was Fallout New Vegas 2 leaked
Part 2
and Elder Scrolls 6 release date ... And
which is
release date ...
for like 10 years now.
That's all? I thought it was longer, but
I don't know. It feels like it.
When did
Holy shit, it has been. It was 2011 when it came out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when did? Yeah, it came out in 2011. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So, believe it or not, then that's like a 10-year anniversary to Skyrim.
Is it gonna be like Twin Peaks: The Return, where it's gonna be like 25 years later? just this evil bug comes out of like Todd Howard's mouth and just infects the world.
Yeah,
that'd be the way to do it.
So, all right. So let's get down to the deets, and then let's talk about it, right? So, to recap for folks who don't follow the news in gaming, Bethesda was recently purchased by Microsoft, and was announced. It was announced late last year, which subsequently also owns Obsidian, who was the original creator of Fallout games. So it's quite interesting that Microsoft owns both, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, but like, are they going to do something good with it?
Well, they can share licenses, right? At that point.
Yeah, they can.
So, meaning, can Obsidian finally make Fallout New Vegas 2 with no repercussions by Bethesda?
Okay, well, before we get into that, though, like, didn't Obsidian do Outer Worlds?
They did.
Okay, so don't they have enough shit going on for them right now?
No, but they've always wanted to do it. That's why they did Outer Worlds, right? Is because they couldn't do the next Fallout New Vegas.
Because they were just like, oh, I'm just going to take my fucking stories and I'm just going to do it myself. We're going to live like kings. Damn hell-ass kings. We're going to cuss. We're going to have cigars.
Yeah. I mean, that game is, by the way, small tangent, but a small plug for that game. If you have not played The Outer Worlds yet, holy smokes, that game is fun as hell.
I've watched other people play it, and it seems cool. It seems like old school, like good ass Fallout.
Yeah,
you know.
It is.
But
I mean, it's like, it reminds me of like a modern day improved Fallout New Vegas, and that's really where.
I mean, that's kind of the dream, because I think New Vegas was like the apex.
Yeah.
Of Fallout series, like for me at least, where it was just like Fallout 3 was good because it did something different and it kind of like laid that groundwork down for some cool shit. And then New Vegas was just like, okay, we got a gigantic sandbox. Let's just go crazy with this. And it was just like fucking wonderful, frankly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why Fallout 4 was so goddamn disappointing. Like, Jesus Christ. But I mean, the writing was on the wall with that anyway, because if you watched played any of the Elder Scrolls games over times, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my experience. So this was my experience with over history with Fallout. Right, I played Fallout 1, which was a very different game than any of the newer versions. Right,
very difficult to understand what the fuck you should be doing at any point in time.
Exactly,
And then you're dead.
It was still a fairly deep game from that perspective, right? And for folks who don't know or haven't seen it, it's basically Fallout in the perspective of Diablo in a way, right? Like
well, it's like it's that 3/4 view, like like an RTS in general. Like what's the name of that?
I figure out what they call it, so that's why I just called it Diablo-esque, because I can't remember what the hell it's called.
Diablo-esque. This game was very Diablo-esque. It has nothing to do with Diablo whatsoever.
No. But the POV, like the view of it, like how you see
Baldur's Gate, you know?
Yeah, Baldur's Gate. There you go.
Okay.
Torment, those kind of games. But and then I went from that to the next Fallout game being Fallout New Vegas that I played.
Wait, so you went from number 1 to New Vegas?
Yeah.
You skipped a whole lot of shit, dude.
I did because I got involved in other games. Like it was there are a lot of games that came out, and then like the first Fallout wasn't super interesting to me, and so that's why once Fallout New Vegas came out, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and so I played it and I really enjoyed it. And then my next Fallout experience was Fallout 4, which we've had, I think, lengthy conversations about.
Which we'll probably have on here too at some point. It might be now. I don't know.
But so then Fallout 4 was like that game I couldn't get into it, and because let's not get into it here, but I just could not get into that game
because it was all the same quest over and over and over and over and over again. Go to this house, clear it from ghouls, come back to Paladin Dance, and that's it. That's all it fucking was.
Yeah, it was pretty. It seemed kind of like empty, and I get it. It was the apocalyptic feel to it, but the game
you can't crutch on that. The whole series is about the apocalypse. You can't be like, well, I get it, it's the apocalypse, so the devs just didn't put that in there, so I guess thematically in my mind it makes sense. But
I'm trying
Palpatine was also somehow alive, so I guess maybe it's just so stupid.
Palpatine's like your crutch right now.
It's not a crutch, it's a good example of stupid shit that shouldn't have happened.
Okay,
it's a good example of, wow, I don't know what to do here, so somehow Palpatine's return. That's basically all of Fallout 4, plus all the dumbass bugs they should have fixed in between the creation of Fallout 3 through fucking New Vegas, and then another 4 years until Fallout 4? It's like, what are you doing over there?
And then it transcended to Fallout 76. Some of the exact same bugs were in Fallout 76.
Fallout 4 was a beta test of 76, I think.
Think so?
I think it was. Okay, so real quick, little, not really a tangent, but the death knell of that game for me of Fallout 4, where I was like, okay, I was like kind of in your boots, where I was like, all right, I guess it's gonna get better. It's like, all right, Paladin Dance likes me now. I'm gonna go do another, fucking quest. So just walking around, and it was in Boston, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Boston. Okay, so I've come up to this goddamn dog track in the middle of the city, and I'm just like, this is perfect. This is what Fallout, they cannot let me down here, because I'm gonna find some hidden quest. I'm gonna find some NPCs. I'm gonna do some shit, and it is gonna be fun. And I swear to God, dude, I went in there, I holstered my weapons, I was gonna go in there, I was gonna fucking gamble, I was gonna do whatever I could in that place. Turns out the only thing that you could do in there is get attacked. And then you couldn't even interact with the robots that were dog racing at that point. And I was just like, this game fucking sucks. Like, such a missed opportunity. Why even build this? It's just.
You know what I have to say? You know what I have to say to that?
Cyberpunk 2077?
No. Trust not what you see. It's what you don't see that you need to appreciate.
Yeah, honestly. I'm gonna make fun of you. That was pretty good. I'm not even gonna do it. You even had the at the end. Like, it was perfect.
Well, okay. So to reel this in a little bit, so this information comes from a leaker, from Tyler McVicker. By the way, what a handle. So, but he's a known Valve insider, and he was also in charge of the Valve News Network on YouTube. Okay, so he's got a long history of like having this type of breaking news, right?
Okay.
So, anyways, on Twitter, he named a few. We'll first start out. Obviously, I think most of us already know Starfield is basically going to be the first game that they release out of these different franchises that Bethesda has. And it's
what Starfield's supposed to be about?
Not yet,
besides,
but
like, Field of Stars.
Yeah, right. I mean, quite literal. But it's supposed to be basically released by the latter half of this decade. So my guess is,
okay.
2019.
They're terrible at making games.
Or 20, like 29, something like that. Whatever.
Well, it's 2021 right now.
So, yeah. But what's interesting here is think about it this way, right?
Okay.
And this is what I thought was funny. This is Starfield being the first at the latter part of this decade. Elder Scrolls is expected to be released around 2026, 2027.
Okay.
So are they going to release around the same time? Like, they're pretty much aligned in that time frame.
You know what's going to be the most disappointing thing about all of this? Is they're going to use the same goddamn engine, and you're going to see like sunlight ray tracing coming out of the fucking ground and through hills. Your hand's going to deform in front of you, and you're going to fall through the world, and you're going to be like, no, it's just day one. It'll be okay. And they'll give you a 250 gig patch just to make it worse.
Actually, you know what? I need to I actually have to rewind for a second. I spoke incorrectly. Starfield is supposed to be in the next few years. Fallout New Vegas 2, whatever that's going to be titled, will be the second half of the decade.
Regardless, it's not good news because they're going to disappoint us at every avenue.
3 times in the same decade.
Like I mean, like, this is like two episodes out of 2 where I'm just like very negative about shit, and I promise that's not. Well, that is kind of my personality, but like,
yeah, it is.
I know. Yeah, I get it. I'm fun to hang around with in small doses, but like,
that's why we only do this weekly.
That's true. I understand, and I'm not offended. But like, they're just so disappointing, though. It's just like they shit on your goodwill, and it's like, they continually keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and that's the thing that is frustrating for me.
But here's a question, and this is an honest question.
Yeah.
Before they started being repetitious of the garbage that they've been putting out, and I guess I would say this, like, I really, even though Skyrim was a buggy mess,
sure it was. It's a fun buggy mess though.
But it's a fun game. You know what I mean? And so I don't. Like, I've bought it twice. Like, that should tell you something. Right?
Oof, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Well, I didn't buy it for the Switch because I was like, I was a little concerned at running on the Switch.
Yeah. You're not going to play a 10-year-old game on the Switch? What's wrong with you? That's all they have.
I wasn't willing to take that leap, although I've heard good things about it running on the Switch.
Dude, so my friend, he just got himself like a gaming laptop, like the first time in like a decade for him. And he's just like, I'm going to play Skyrim. I'm going to get the HD edition and all remastered and all this stuff. I'm just going to have a good time because I didn't really get to play it that much. And he loads it up. And I don't know if this is a common bug or not, but everybody understands the opening to Skyrim where you wake up from a fade to black in the wagon. Well, okay, so that happens, except you look to the left and the fucking horse is just doing barrel rolls as fast as it possibly can. And like your hands are bounced because you have no action. You can't do anything. But apparently the horse has HP. So as it's spinning and moving forward, the physics engine kicks in and it hits its head on a fucking rock and it dies. And then the carriage flips over and he can't actually start the game. And you know what the problem was? We did a bunch of troubleshooting there. The problem was his computer was too good and the frame rate was too high. Shit you not. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, this would only happen in a Bethesda game. It was ridiculous. And sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I think about that and it just puts a smile on my face because it didn't happen to me.
Oh man. Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, we'll get to some of that cyberpunk fun here in a minute too.
Okay.
No, that is kind of funny though. So like, all right. So we have the potential of Bethesda disappointing us 3 times in 1 decade instead of 1 time in a decade.
Right. It's like cursed double mint gum. Oh my God.
We're
okay.
Awful.
Do it, Todd Howard. My body's ready.
We are awful. But
only judge your game from a distance.
Oh man. I gotta get some sound bites in here at some point, get a sound deck going. Well,
air horn.
But here's one thing I can say. I'm looking forward to the potential of them surprising us with the new engine because these games. No, I mean think about it, right? Let's just
thinking about it.
Hypothetical for a moment. It's a new engine for these games.
Sure.
Could they potentially fix the game or fix their engine?
Well, here's the problem with your thinking. is they're going to half-ass this because somebody's going to get rushed down the line and they're just going to take assets from their first engine and they're going to dump it into this new one. I don't know. Tell me if this is possible, anybody that develops games, but it seems like it's possible. And
audience, when you're ready, just answer Joe.
All 3 of you. I really need you guys to put your heads together and answer me on this. But like, I think they're going to fuck it up because you don't just keep having the exact same engine and not do anything about it for a decade and a half. And then be like, no, we're making a new one. It's going to be so much better. It's going to be so good. Like it's going to be the same buggy mess, just with higher polygons.
But Joe,
that's all it is.
Joe, infinite draw distances.
Impossible. That's such a dumb thing to even say. Where it's just like, okay, A, who gives a shit? B, no, it's just not going to happen.
All right. Well, I think we've beaten Bethesda down a little bit on that, but it'll be interesting to see sort of how that comes about. I'm gonna definitely watch from a distance, as you say, with 2 hands out, saying, "Just hold the phone. I'm not pre-ordering you. Don't wait.
Ever pre-order anything. This is not the good old days of Nintendo." Where you're just like, I got to get that box. I got to get that gold cartridge. You're going to get burned. It's not worth it. Everything's digital. You don't need to pre-order a goddamn thing anymore. There's no point.
Somebody should have told a bunch of people who bought Cyberpunk 2077 for the PS4.
Segway!
And the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Smooth, dude.
So basically... And I'm going to throw this out there. My nickname for this game right now is Cyberbug 20 should have come out in 77.
That'll never not be funny.
It's funny.
I'm not. It'll never not be funny.
Cyberpunk 20 should have come out in 77. It's damn funny.
2077.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on the same page here. I get it.
Come on. Read between the lines, yo. Read between the lines.
I've read between the lines. I've pulled out the atlas. I've Google mapped every part of it. I understand it.
All right. Fine.
I love you, dude.
Sure. All right. Let's change gears and have a little bit more fun like we started this with. And that's to talk about some of the insane glitches that this game
that plague this game.
That plague this game.
Okay.
And
go for it.
My favorite one, and I've experienced most of these so far, which is kind of funny. And I play for clarity, I play on the Xbox Series X. And the texture pop in and stuff like that is quite funny because I'm like, and my wife was watching me play Cyberpunk one day, and I'm sitting there driving in the desert.
Your car just crumples on itself.
No, I'm driving and the grass on the ground is drawing as I'm driving on the ground in front of it. So she's like,
kind of looks like you're on acid.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's real.
You know what's kind of funny about this whole thing? Like glitch, like some of the glitches are just kind of like, okay, well, that's just regular, just glitchy shit. But like, there's some really cool ones, and like the one where like it's like one of the main glitches. Like if you look up Cyberpunk 2077 glitches, you'll see it. It's like one of the biggest ones where like they're in a parking garage, and Keanu Reeves, what's his name in the game?
Johnny Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand is just like next to you in the passenger seat, and then all of a sudden you just like fall through the floor.
Oh yeah.
And the world like goes blank, and you're just flipping, and you just land on the other side on the floor below you, and it's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
like it really is. Like if you like taking away like the game breaking immersion of that and all that stuff, but like when you're looking at this, it's like a Salvador Dali painting, and you're just like, that's so fucking cool. So like what I would want to see is I want to see them lean into this shit almost. I've been thinking about that since I've seen, like a lot of these videos where it's just like, there's only one game I've ever played that really like tried to lean into glitching and like tried to make it a part of like, this is gameplay, which is Axiom Verge, which I don't know if you've ever played that. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've played a little bit of it, but not a lot.
Fantastic game. Just old school Metroid, feels great. But they have like this the whole gimmick of the game is that like you glitch things. Like you have a gun that literally sends out waves to glitch things, so you can find alternate paths or just like go through walls and stuff like that. And it's really cool. And I figured like there's a real missed opportunity here where it's like somebody should make a game that revolves around glitches like this. And like I think you could do it. Like honestly,
well, Cyberpunk 2077.
There's something there to it. Like I swear to God.
GTA 3 was that way as well.
Was it?
Yeah, GTA 3 was a buggy mess. Like it was fun. It was a funny buggy mess though. It was like you're like
Skyrim
yep,
funny.
Yep, that just happened. Like once in a while, like I'd be walking around like the city and stuff, and a freaking car would just fall right on top of me.
Yeah, there's some cool shit. I've seen a bunch of glitches where like cars are like, and it doesn't even feel like a glitch. It feels like there's a transformer behind like a block of of skyscrapers that is just hurling fucking cars at people. And I'm just like, that's just cool. Like it feels there's just some strange things in here where it's just like if you let your mind get abstract with it, and if they let you just go there, it's just like you could build something off of this.
Well, one of my so this is a Cyberpunk one. One of my favorite ones is I was sitting there and I don't remember what mission it was, but I was in one of the downtown areas, and I kept on hearing this like crashing noise, and I'm like, what is this noise? I'm like, all right, I got to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
So I get out of the vehicle that I'm driving in, and I start walking around. And I'm like, where is that coming from? And then all of a sudden,
yeah,
a motorcycle comes crashing down in front of me. So then I look up.
like straight up.
No. So then I look up, and it looks like from one of the buildings in the distance off the highway, or one of the highways that I was on, something was literally launching motorcycles across and over the highway.
Okay, and how does this bug happen? Because it sounds just like the car bug I was just describing, where it's just like, how do you? Because like everything comes down to like it in my mind, in my graphic artist mind, non-developer mind. All these glitches are based off the physics system and just like variables out of place, essentially.
Yeah.
How do you set up a scenario where vehicles
are launched across the city?
Yeah, are like fucking Super Dave launching themselves across the city and just like landing in front of you. You know, and it's like it's one of those questions too, where it's just like if a tree falls down in the forest, it's making noise, does it still happen? It's just like, is this happening in other parts of the city? Like, are other NPCs just getting killed by this? Like, it's just weird, man. How does that happen?
There was another one that I saw where someone got stuck in third person.
Yes. That is okay.
And so, the head was missing.
The head wasn't missing. The head wasn't missing.
Well, this one was. The one that I saw, the head was missing.
No, the head squashed down into the body so they can get that first person perspective of like where the hands are as you're looking at it. Because like instead of just being like drawing a model where the hands are up, they need to put the camera basically like in the center of the chest in order to get the right height for the rest of the NPCs. And they crunch back the hand and like essentially break the wrist. So you look like a Ghostbuster figurine. And like if you get into third person view with that, it's like you look ridiculous. Like it's terrifying. It's like watching like a live version of The Thing. Like it's like horrifying, frankly.
It's quite funny, actually. I think it's
funny, but it's like it's horrifying when you're looking at this stuff where you're just like, really, this is your guys' choice. Like, I don't understand like why they have to do things like that, you know, in the first place, especially if you're gonna have a game that's gonna be flipping between third and first person.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know. It's probably very commonplace. They just probably just fucked it up in execution like they have with everything else. But
what's funny though is the there's a few times where I've reloaded into a mission after dying, and my camera gets all screwed up. So then I see the back of the eyeballs and the hair, like I'm inside the head. You know, I'm inside the head, and the camera has eyeballs and hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first time I've ever seen a bug like that before. I was playing Guild Wars 2, and I actually zoomed in too close to my character's face, and you see the assets that you can see when they talk, and it is horrifying. It's just so terrifying. Just like this big old grinning teeth and just eyes that have like fully formed like nerves at the end. And it's strange. Yeah. Very strange. It's like, why do you even need that?
Well,
I guess if you're going to explode their head.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Never mind. I just answered my own question.
So we talked about some of the funny ones, but there are some kind of immersion game breaking ones that I think are quite annoying.
They all are.
Well, I don't know. Those are funny. Like to me, I'm like, oh, okay. I just laugh at it, be like, oh, that's just creepy, or that's kind of funny.
Oh, UV. Let's just keep going.
But like the ones where like you're in a mission and all of a sudden you do something wrong and the cops just like they teleport to where you are. Like,
yeah, that's bullshit.
That's total crap. Like,
why do you even have cops in the first place in this game like that? You know, like at no point in all the trailers and all like the gameplay demos, and granted, I know they were misleading and they were just made up on the spot essentially, but like they never gave you any indication that this was going to be like, you got 3 stars.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But okay. it also impacts on how certain people interact with you, right?
Okay, so it's reputation.
Yeah, so it's reputation. And there's also the clan and gang thing with the different areas. Like there are some different clans that don't like you, but if your interaction is good with certain people, then that changes how they approach you. So instead of trying to shoot you, they're like, okay, whatever, I'll just leave you alone.
Okay.
I'm curious to see what happens if you get caught by the cops. Do you get killed or do you get arrested? And what is that like?
Okay, well, that's interesting that you're asking that question. Have you never gotten caught by the cops?
No.
Have you played this game?
Yeah.
Have you just killed them every single time?
No, I've ran.
You ran? Why, pussy?
Because I didn't want to deal with it.
What do you mean?
I didn't want to deal with it.
Oh my god!
I just get in the car and drive. It's like it's like they're.
Is it like shoplifting out of a Best Buy where they're just like, we can't stop you, sir. Sir, please stop. Put the TV down. You're just like, no.
It's like old school Need for Speed. To where if you drive far enough away from the cops, then they stop pursuing you.
They're just like, well, he's a ghost. I don't even know what happened here. Is it okay? Is it like that scene in Batman Begins? Okay, where Rachel just got hit in the face with the fear gas, and Batman's just like, here's the Batmobile, and they're going over like the roofs and shit like that, and they're on the highway going to like Wayne Manor because what else is on the fucking highway? And all of a sudden he's just like, watch this, and he just turns off his lights and he slows down a little bit, and the cops are like, he disappeared. Where'd he go?
Where did who go?
Such a good movie, but that scene always pops out to me where I'm just like, this is the most unrealistic part of this chase, and he just jumped off fucking roofs with a car.
Oh man.
Yeah, anyway, talking about Cyberpunk again.
T poses are kind of funny.
Yeah, classic T pose.
Yeah, I mean that happens all the time.
I do like the amount of like ass crack that I see in this game randomly. And just boobs hanging out for no reason.
This is one here. And for those who can't see what we're looking at, and I've actually have seen this in game. So it's really confusing, and I don't understand. This is one that's very confusing on how this happens. It's probably just the mapping of where they have cars routed. But basically, the freaking cars are driving down the street and just like crashing themselves into the barricades on the side of the sidewalk. You know how like there's barricades separating a sidewalk and the street. And it's just like they just continuously start crashing into. They just like literally drive into it and crash all the way down.
See, this one is kind of funny because I think this one is kind of game breaking because if you notice, as these cars are crashing into the cement barriers, they have a whole bunch of debris that's coming off of them.
Yeah, because they're breaking. Like
they're breaking. Like they're like debris is coming off them, like the car hoods and shit, and they're cussing at you the whole time because you deserve it. Yeah. But yeah, like for me, like I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, this would literally crash my computer because like these guys are not stopping and this debris is not despawning. Like this is like walking into like your Skyrim house and having like the entire room filled with cabbages and just your game just goes, I don't know what to do with this, crash. Yeah. So I don't know. That one to me looks like fix that shit first, please, guys.
Yeah, it's a very interesting bug. But to your point, I do think that at some point it potentially has a game breaking, potential there. I think it just depends also like, where all the different elements are popping in and at one time and how close proximity you have to be for some of this stuff to actually, cause the collision effect. So I think
because like when does it actually render on your screen? Like when does it become a problem? But when you have infinite draw distance in the new Starfield engine that Bethesda's coming out with, that's really gonna fuck you over.
Can you imagine like all the cars in every point of the map crashing into the walls?
Could you imagine Starfield?
creating thousands and thousands and thousands of particles that have to render.
Could you imagine Starfield as galaxies collide in the distance that you can't even see? It's a small star, but it's taking you 3,000% of your processor because it's like, no, you need to see this.
Okay, so now that we had a little fun at the expense of CDPR and Cyberpunk 2077, I do have a legit topic here that I want to talk about and bring to light, right?
Okay.
And that's, should there be safeguards in place to protect gamers from launches like this? Or meaning, you know, should there be a review, like kind of like a legal review of a game like this? Not saying that it would be a legal review, but you know what I'm saying. It's kind of that idea to before it could be released to the public for consumption, for full price of what they're paying for the game. You know, what should or could be done about it? Like, I don't know. Like, I'll turn it over to you for you to start. But I have some interesting, strong opinions. But you start.
I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you, because like in an ideal world, when you can objectively say like, yeah, this is fucked up, you know, because like if we're talking like government agencies, these motherfuckers don't even know how Twitter works. You know, ask Tim Apple what's going on with Microsoft, and then you'll understand what's wrong with Cyberpunk 2077. So I don't necessarily trust the government to do anything that makes sense with this. I mean, maybe if there's an independent governing body like they did with the ESRB back in the 90s, maybe, but then that also opens up the door for, okay, so how much teeth does this does the independent agency have? And if they do have enough teeth, what's to stop some sort of game company? So let's just say Todd Howard. Let's say Bethesda, which is now Microsoft, is just like, hey, we're all kumbaya with trying to do crossplay, but like Sony, we really don't want you to release your exclusive game at this point of the holiday because it's going to come up with something that we are trying to sell at the same time. We're going to say that, you know, your game is not ready to go, and you could face legal repercussions if you move forward. I mean, obviously that's a slippery slope argument if I've ever heard one, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility because, you know, lobbyists exist, money exists, and it's the natural end game of something like this. If you had some sort of consumer, you know, this sounds like something that's more so for like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Wait, financial protection? Does that make sense? Consumer, I don't know, whatever. But do you get what I'm saying here? Where things can get really messed up really fast. Because really, some people still like this game and would still buy it even if it's in its buggy state. So it's kind of like in the eye of the beholder as well.
Sure, but I mean, don't forget now, people who bought the PS4 and the Xbox Series X versions, they can't play the game. Like that's a legit problem.
Well, I mean, they can play the game, you know.
Well,
also
it's almost virtually unplayable, and it's not the game that they were sold from the marketing campaign.
I understand that, and honestly, like, I'm kind of more interested to see the PlayStation 4 version of this game than I am like the polished, like how it should be played version, because I've seen some gameplay of that. And I'm like, this shit just looks hilarious. You know, like it's a joke, but it is funny as hell. From a distance, of course. I also was not hyped up about this game, and I did not, you know, I didn't pre-order and I didn't care about getting it at any point in time. So yeah, I get that.
But honestly, so going back to your point about the ESRB, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we take that case in point, maybe not a governing body, maybe it's like a QA, right? Which then the QA reports can come out for consumers, almost like consumer reports.
Yeah.
For games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like what if they did something like that? Like that would make the gaming companies.
Do we not have that already with reviews?
Well,
and granted, there's a lot of shady shit that companies do where they're just like, oh, we're not going to let certain reviews come out during a certain period of time. I mean, like, wouldn't it be easy for a governing body to just be like, no, you have to have things reviewed ahead of time?
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think there has to be some sort of review or QA process that sort of promotes safeguarding consumers.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not trying to be like contrarian or anything like that. Like, I think that would be cool. I'm not sure about the feasibility of it. I mean, the most anybody can do at this point is lean on the individual like digital download stores like the PlayStation Network and whatever. And have them be like, look, we know this sucks, so we're gonna pull it, which is what they did, you know? So yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know where to really land on that. I think it's a good idea, but how do you do it?
Well, and I guess, my thought is, if you can control, I would let not maybe control is um a strong point of view here, but maybe if let's talk about the Better Business Bureau, right? For
Yeah.
businesses, and not all businesses subscribe to the BBB when it comes to reporting and stuff like that. But there are consumers who report back to the BBB in regards to bad practices or things that they find bad about businesses.
Yeah, when
And
they get irate. Yeah.
yeah, and but also the Better Business Bureau, in fact, well, supposedly they investigate those.
They do.
Um,
They really
I
do.
Yeah, and so, like, in the video game world, why not have something like that that is an independent body that protects consumers?
Yeah, and I think they should. I think honestly, probably in the next like maybe 10 years, you're probably going to see something like that. Just because I mean, like, look, when the heat was on, back in during the Satanic Panic in the '90s, and video game companies needed to be like, look, we need to take care of this ourselves, or the government's going to start jumping in, which is like what's happening now with Facebook and everything when you're banning politicians and stuff. I think the industry is probably going to lean towards self-regulating and stuff like that, and they did a good job with the ESRB. So like maybe they can do this, but I think we're going to have to. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Do you find that Cyberpunk potentially hurt the industry just slightly there?
No,
Not at all.
no, I don't, because
It
when
being the
people talk
first
about
game,
Cyberpunk, they talk about CD Projekt Red. They don't talk about video games.
sure, okay, but Cyberpunk will always go down in history as the first buggy game to be explicitly removed from the PlayStation Store because it was
Sure,
too bad to play.
but that doesn't mean anything. Like when No Man's Sky came out, the backlash for that was just as bad as Cyberpunk. Like, if anybody remembers that, like, it was just everybody was just like, oh, you sold us the bill of goods, that you said it was going to do this and this and this, and it was going to be infinite, and you can never do this X, Y, or Z, and you can do this, and nothing came out, but they fixed it. Long story short, you're going to see way more of these botched launches, because what everything comes down to is money and investors. And at a certain point, if a game's been languishing for 6 or 8 years behind the scenes, somebody's going to say, like, you either shit or get off the pot. And most of the time it is shit, because even if you shit, you still make some of that money back.
Right.
So you're just going to see a ton of this. I mean, like, even Nintendo has buggy releases, but they fix it immediately. Like, you just don't think of Nintendo that way.
So let's wrap up Cyberpunk 2077 and talk about some of the discussions around multiplayer and single player DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And for folks who don't know or haven't heard much about it, or haven't really played the game, there was promise of both multiplayer and DLC. However, with the, I guess what you would call botched release, They've had to spend a lot of time fixing the game, and then started talking about releasing. They postponed the DLC releases, but also to release some other featured content that obviously should have been there, but wasn't because they had to rush this out the door. So, the one of the most recent posts in the official Cyberpunk forums: do you want multiplayer content or do you want extra DLC or expansions for the game? And the response is quite,
I bet it's 50-50.
94.5.
Oh, what? I was wrong. Holy shit.
94.5, 94% for the extra single player expansion content and 5% for multiplayer.
Well,
Meaning
I mean,
in favor of.
How can you even do multiplayer when the single player doesn't work?
Well, true. But keep in mind, it was in the pipeline to get multiplayer by the end of this year. I have to say, after playing the game, and I know you haven't played it yet, but after playing the game, most of the people that play this type of game are in it for the single player experience, not multiplayer. So there's also a question there, in my eyes anyways. Is there a multiplayer component of this type of game anyways?
Me personally, I would say single player because I'm not really interested in multiplayer. It's not that type of game for me, because like I like my multiplayer to be like, okay, FPS, competitive FPS, like we're talking like Counter-Strike or Overwatch, stuff like that. But for an RPG game, like, I've messed around with Warframe before, and it's kind of like, yeah, you're hanging out in a squad with people. That game is convoluted as all fuck, but you don't really need to. I don't know. I kind of like games that like have a specific direction where it's just like, if you're going to be multiplayer, lean into fucking multiplayer.
Yeah.
This game kind of leans into nothing right now. Where it's just like, fix your core, fix your single player experience, and then if you want to do like a GTA Online, okay, awesome, people are going to play it. I mean, there's probably going to be a demand for it, especially if you end up making the world that people want to keep on continually coming back to.
Right.
But for me personally, like, I could give a shit. Like, it's just not for me, because like I games like this, Cyberpunk, Witcher, Breath of the Wild, all these big open sandbox games, I was ended up doing the side quests, and then I am inconvenienced by the main quest, and then I just kind of stop playing. It's like eating the entirety of the crust of the pizza and then just like leaving the middle to itself. So yeah, I don't see it.
All right. So let me take it in another direction quickly.
Okay.
Right. So the original report by CDPR was to release multiplayer as a separate release, meaning a separate game, which I think is not a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a terrible idea, but like, what's going to be different besides the fact that you have multiple people on screen?
Right.
Like, what is the draw to something like that besides like, I could shoot somebody in the face from a distance and it's fucking funny,
Well, so deep in the PC game files, there's been some multiplayer modes found. That data miners have already started looking for this stuff and they found it. Some of the speculations based on the code that's out there, this could potentially be a P2P exclusive type of multiplayer game. So somebody hosts and comes in, and it's basically a 4-player game. So there's a mode called heist mode, which could suggest that it's basically a 4-player mode where it's different types of roles like netrunner or heavy, so on and so forth.
Yeah, that could be cool. But that requires classes.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
well, there's there's the net runner, there's the heavy. There's 4 different nomad, but they would expand it to a specific type of class. So to your point, it would be different classes, right?
Yeah, so you'd have to build like talent, like not necessarily talent tree. Well, how this game works, you might have to have some sort of like branching talent trees, like if my memory is correct, like League of Legends has something like that, or they used to, in like your user profile. But you would, for a game this deep, you would need something like that, or you go like the Overwatch route, where it's just like, okay, here's your 4 skills, and just be good at the game, you know.
And then they have so deathmatch mode was found in the game
Deathmatch is always boring.
But it's like deathmatch. I don't know. I almost feel like capture the flag or a net runner type of capture the flag would be better than a deathmatch mode.
Deathmatch, like, it kind of stopped being fun after Quake 2.
Yeah.
Like, because then it's just kind of like, and even like halfway through Quake 2, it was just like, that's when like, well, for me at least, I don't know if like in the industry it was, but like capture the flag became a thing, and you had like your grappling hook mods and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden the game changed, and it was just like, oh, now I have an objective besides like swing around my dick. Now I can swing around my dick and do objectives and feel that much better.
Right.
And then you'll notice that ever since then, I mean, like, games have never really put death matches back in. I think, Quake Champions that just came out, they tried to do it. I know Doom Eternal did, but like, what's the multiplayer base on that? Like, who talks about any of those games?
Right. No, agreed. So the last point I have here, right, is what if we saw a co-op single player mode?
Doable? I mean, and again, it all depends on like, what's the gameplay like?
Let's just say the game's in perfect state.
The game's in perfect state. Okay.
Right. So, for instance, maybe it's at most you could have up to 3 players co-op, not couch co-op, but online co-op.
Yeah, but what are you working towards? That's the thing.
Fair. But I guess where I was going that is if they do it as a DLC, right, where it's a story arc, and maybe they open up a different part of the world to where it's exclusively a storyline for co-op multiplayer, right? Like they've done that before in other games, not to this extent.
Mm-hmm.
But like you buy certain.
Oh, you got your Left 4 Dead. That's a co-op story mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're on the same playing field at every given point with that game. And I think that's the problem with an RPG is you need to remove elements in order to make it multiplayer friendly. And I think that's why GTA works, because it's an MMO with no rules, essentially.
Yeah.
It's what that comes down to. And it's just like, if Cyberpunk needs to do something different, you can certainly go down that GTA route and people will have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to do something different, what is that different?
Yeah.
And granted, you might not, that might be a question that doesn't need to be answered, because when it comes down to it, it's just like, you just want people buying your game, and you want to make sure that there's enough people on your server to make it feel alive. So
then basically the end question there is, does this game really warrant or need a multiplayer mode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's just lean whole ass one thing, just lean hard into that single player, because it's like there's an appetite for it. People wouldn't buy this game if they didn't like it, and even like go through all this hardship of bugs and just all this awful PR and just waiting for patch 1.1 to drop. There's a base for it. Make it as polished and as beautiful as it can be, because I mean, man, look what they did to The Witcher. It's like, it was buggy as shit, and now it's a beloved game. It is a game that I even go back and revisit every once in a while, and that's saying a lot for me, because I basically one and done games, and I'm just like, peace. But I mean, just build that world, make it as good as it can be, and you got yourself a masterpiece.
All right, so let's wrap up with some final thoughts on Cyberpunk. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
First question, the fact that you don't own the game.
Sure.
But do you still plan to buy the game to play it at some point?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think it's going to be a good game. I'm just going to wait another 12 months for it to happen.
Fair enough.
I don't go into the whole pre-order hype. It's like when they kept delaying it for a year, I was just like, this is a red flag if I've ever seen one. And it's just like, it was hard because I remember talking to you like a couple months before. I was just like, my body is so ready for this. Like, I want to play this game so bad. And I kept watching it and I kept looking at it more. And I was just like, I think I'll wait for everybody's reaction. I think I want to hold off because like I don't need to get my hopes up for this right now. And frankly, I was just like, well, my computer's going to run like shit anyway. So it's just like, I'm probably not going to be missing much. I'll just wait for the upgrade in a year. And then the game will be ready to come out the right way. And then I'll just enjoy it.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, and that's unfortunate with a lot of games these days. It's just like, just wait a while. Release date is basically a open beta test at some point, you know, with a lot of them. So except for like Doom Eternal. So yeah, that's how I feel about Cyberpunk 2077. And I will say 2077 correctly at some point in the future.
Or you could just say it the way that I wrote it.
What is it?
Cyberbug 20 should have come out in 77.
Cyberbug 20 should have come out in 77.
Thanks for listening to our most recent episode of Uneducated Gamers. You can go to Galaxy Game TV to post comments on each of our episodes, or if you have a question or a topic you would like us to include in an episode, feel free to leave a comment. Until next week, we bid you farewell.